brain ready. I am camera ready. I think I am at least, but I know I'm
Well,
glad to be here. That's for sure.
well, whether you're ready or not, here we are.
Here we
We are
are.
live
We are live. We are
in
live.
the living color.
Yep.
Okay, we could do that. Uh, I don't know. I hope you all have had a good week because we're going to start with a weekend review. So I
Yes,
hope
ma'am.
we all have something that we want to share and,
Oh,
and want to celebrate. I am trying to. One day, when you talk about camera ready, one day we're going to come on and I'm going to actually have the right lighting. I fuss about it all the time, but I haven't been able to fuss about it and fix it. So that's something that I'm always working on. But we're going to have an interesting evening. Tonight's going to be just the three of us, and we don't ever mind when it is just the three of us. And
nope.
I'm good
we're
with that.
going to talk about some folk that we like and folk that we love and folk that we know, and that's always good and interesting. And all of that coming up, we've got a lot coming ahead of us in the days and weeks to come, but we're pretty much set for tonight. I think we're going in order of Ruth, you're going to go first, and
Yep.
then then I'm going to go, and then Victoria is going to go, and
All right.
then we're going to talk about some other things. Victoria, are you ready? Are you
I'm
ready, dear?
ready. I'm
Okay.
ready. We can roll them.
Are you ready?
Ready.
All
Here we
right.
go.
You ready? Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
And welcome to Authors Up. Very, very happy to have those of you who are on the line tonight. There's always a joy to see new people and old people, and not
Yes.
in age, but former listeners and former viewers to Authors Up. We're always glad to have you. And we're going to have an interesting evening this evening. Our evenings are always that way, but
Mm-hmm.
this one we it's a little bit special. It's a little special. So good evening to you, Nikayetta. Glad to have you in the house tonight. And there's Linda. Linda Cooks, good evening to you, and Angie Oliphant there in South Carolina. Good evening to you as well, Angie. Thanks for joining us tonight. And we got my co-hosts here with me, Ruth Griffin and Victoria Henderson. Good evening.
Hello.
Good
Hello. Hello.
evening.
Hello.
Oh, look at the queen. The queen has waves tonight. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for being in the house. And we're gonna go ahead and we are going to get started. We're gonna hit the ground running tonight. And we're going to start with our weekend review because we always like to talk about what happened the week before we come on the air. And I think Miss Ruth is going to start us off tonight. So, Ruth, tell us about your weekend review.
Okay. Well, my week started off with a trip to the ER. Um,
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
yeah, no, it's never good when
Uh-oh.
you wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning with a pain that won't go away. So,
Mm.
you think it's one thing and you lay on the couch going, okay, maybe this will go away. But then it didn't. So then I had to wake my husband up and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
everybody need to go. So uh the we ended up at a local hospital here. which meant that we still spent 6 hours there. But they
Mm.
did see me immediately and they were running tests and all that. And
Good.
morphine does the body pretty good when you're in pain. So,
Oh.
Does the
but no,
body good?
it does so it does you good. I have to say that much. I had, I've not I've been healthy for most of my life. So, my trips, I haven't broken anything except my toe last year.
Right.
So my track record's been pretty good. But, all in all, it was unexpected. No ruptures or anything like that. I had to follow up with my OBGYN, but for the most part, it's just managing the pain for a couple more weeks and then we'll see what goes from there. So
Okay.
you said, we were going to celebrate, hopefully good stuff happening. My week After starting my week off like that, it just went uphill.
Okay.
So
Okay. Anything like
celebrating that.
All right.
that.
That is good. That is good. How the newlyweds?
Yeah,
Yes.
figuring stuff out. So
Okay.
yeah, no, it's funny because you think about it and you're like, okay, you remember when you were first married and then you were like, okay, you depend on each other, and at this point, it's reminding my daughter, go, did you talk to your husband first? Did you talk to him? You're married now, that kind of thing. So it's interesting. So they're getting everything squared away. Again, because she's stationed at a base, they're separate right now,
Okay.
but
I was
they,
going to ask that.
every weekend either he's driving up or she's driving down. So
Yeah. Okay.
they're
Okay.
getting all that squared away. And I believe by the end of this month, they should have an apartment and, all that stuff you work towards before you get married. They're doing it now. So
Well, and that's their journey and their story, and they
that's
stick
it.
to
That's
it.
it. And
That's
it's
good.
funny because every person I talk to, they're like, "She did what? Oh no, that makes sense." And I'm like, "Yeah, it does. That she didn't do anything that was out of character." So,
There you go. There you
yep.
go.
I'm
Nothing
glad
wrong.
they're okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
wrong with it. Nothing wrong. Good evening, Miss Lynn. I saw Lynn pop in. Good evening, lady. Glad to have you with us tonight. Um, my week in review, I did a couple of things that I was not expecting I would do. Um, I went back on a house, call it my house rant, uh, where I'm
Okay.
still decluttering with the best of them, and got a lot of things thrown away, put away, a lot of ideas, a lot of things that I want to do that I've been saying I'm going to do for a long time are now at least in progress.
That's
And
good.
I'm kind of excited about that. I'm excited about um, how different just a few little changes can sometimes make in your environment, So
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to working with that. I actually, and you guys don't know this, but I actually did start writing, laying out the work for the train.
All
Good.
right.
Yay.
We are going to move forward and we are going to have a dramatic reading of that by the end of the year.
Yay.
That is going to be more than possible. We're going to make that happen. So I'm glad about that. And this week coming up, we are being the three of us are embarking on next steps with our NaNoWriMo journey.
Hmm.
All of us wrote something, so we're going to be looking at the some things that we wrote, and we'll probably talk to you about that maybe a little teeny bit next week, maybe a little teeny bit. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. We'll see what's going to happen with that. And other
Hmm.
than that, there was a lot going on. Just finishing up Black History Month and celebrating and supporting and finding out about different people and things that they've done and accomplishments that they have made. And that was kind of neat. I was glad that to be able to do that and do it from a different perspective than
Yes.
our usual Mary McLeod Bethune, Harriet Tubman things that we pull out this time of year.
Right.
So that was kind of fun. I was enjoying that as well. So that's pretty much what was going on with me during the week. What about you, Victoria? What you have popping?
I got a couple of things popping. Let's see. I won't go in order. I'll just go into something that made me really happy. Verissa came home Friday night. All three of my children were together with me on Friday night, and that made me so happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
After losing my two aunts and recently, and the service for my aunt will be tomorrow during the day, and I couldn't go. It was just nice to have them all around me, and we laughing and joking, and seemed like old times, even though it was new times because Verissa bought the pets, so we had the cat and the dog was with us for the weekend.
Understood.
They have gone now. And you know what you said? Glad to see him come and glad to see him go.
Yep.
Okay. But it was just really a really nice weekend. I wasn't feeling the greatest, but that helped my spirits. Oh, that was good. I got a special delivery in the mail this week. Look at that.
Yes.
Joy 365 books came.
Yes.
I know my light is terrible, but this is there we go.
There we go.
This is the affirmations book, the Choose Joy 365. And then this is the devotional book. The Elder Hines and myself and Trey Lynn are all part of this Joy 365. 365 authors got together to write something about joy and to also do affirmations for the day. And I'm really surprised at how nice they look. And the devotional book is a paperback. A hardback. And the affirmation book is a paperback, but they are both beautiful, beautiful books. I'm just really surprised. Oh my gosh, they're just so nice. Look at the cover. Look, y'all. Yeah. So it was a phenomenal project. I still think to be like we were talking about before the show when I showed them the books. Such a nice project to be a part of. To choose joy, to be a part of a project that concentrated on joy for the whole year. So if anybody wants a copy, get in touch with us and we'll be happy to get you a copy. We hope you bought both of them because they're nice set. See how they look nice on my bookshelf, don't y'all think?
Lovely.
Nice. Another thing that happened for me personally was I was nominated for the Elite Businesswomen's Award. I was nominated in 3 categories.
Yay.
And I accepted the nomination. The categories that I'll be in the Rising Star Award, I believe for Living Life Victoriously, Author of the Year, and Entrepreneur of the Year. I was nominated in all 3 categories. And so I'm so extremely humbled to be a part of that. And it's just, wow. That's all I can say. So I don't know yet about the voting or any of all of that yet. But as soon as I found out any information, when all that starts, I will be sure to let you know. And if God willing, one of those awards will have my name on it. So that would be I'm just excited to be nominated. And I still don't know who nominated me. And I'm forever grateful and humbled to be thought of. So that was that. And then last and not least, I want to invite you all for something coming up tomorrow night. Living Life Victoriously will be on at 7:00 right here on ALH Broadcasting. I will be have the honor and privilege to interview my very own real life sister, Dr. Lori E. Livingston.
Nice.
Yes, my sister, me and my sister. Yes, she's always talking about what am I? We were going to talk about. I said, honey, we're not going to. Please, we're not going to run out of things to talk about. But
Nope.
she has a story to tell too, and everybody, I want to talk to on the show how the victory story. I love a victory story. How you got over. You're just not what we look at right now. We all have come through something. And I believe that her story, her testimony was going to help somebody else. She's an early childhood educator. She loves those babies. You hear me? She loves those babies. And she could deal with them in ways that I couldn't. Like she tells me she couldn't push the paper that I push. And I couldn't deal with those little children every day. So
we all got our own callings.
Yeah,
That's
we do.
right.
We do.
That's right.
So I want to invite everybody to come on back tomorrow at 7:00 for Living Life Victoriously, and you'll be able to chat. These two sisters chat it up.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so.
Because their sister talk like no other.
No other.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can pull some things out of it.
Absolutely.
Who's older, you or Lori?
She's older than me by 2 years. I'm the baby sister.
Okay.
Awesome. And I do want to say too, Victoria mentioned that Trelyn, Usri, and myself are also a part of the Joy 365 project, and we will be getting together on ALH Broadcasting on the 28th of this month. So you're going to get 3 authors from 3 different perspectives, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, y'all.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that. I will actually be visiting Lori at that time, but I'll be able to tune in, and yes.
Awesome. So we got a lot coming up and a lot going on, and we are glad to have you as a part of it, because we can't do this without you. And we are very, very happy to be able to include you as we go along. If there are ever any questions that you have, if there are ever any topics that you want us to talk about, if there are ever any writers that you want us to interview, we cannot promise, but we would love to at least explore the possibilities and see whether or not we can. So we want to be sure to do that. And I'm going to step out here from the back end to the front end, and I'd like for you to tell everybody, Ruth, how they can get in touch with us. I know we're kind of circling the wagons a little differently tonight, but if you could do that, that would be great. Hello.
Okay. Well, we are. You can find us on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I wasn't sure you had to. You guys were frozen, so.
Oh, okay.
As long as, and now I can't tell. Okay, so
we're
please
here.
email us at authors. What?
We're here. We're gonna blink 3
Am I
times.
here?
Blink,
Am I
blink,
here?
Elga, blink.
Wow. Okay. Cool. All right. So, if you have any questions or comments, if you would like to be on the show, you can email us at authorsup@gmail.com. And here is the ticker, authorsup@gmail.com. Now, you can also find us on social media. Just search for Authors Up Show on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can follow us, you can like, you can subscribe. And we also respond to comments there. So that's where you can find us.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Ruth.
You're welcome.
We didn't have a guest tonight, and that's okay, because there are a lot of times that we don't have a guest on our show, and we talk about different tips and tools and things that are an expansion of things that are going on with us individually and as writers. So because this is Women's History Month, we have just finished with Black History Month. And we've highlighted some folks and celebrated some folks, some known to you, some not known to you. But we decided to take a personal slant this evening and talk about the writers that we like, the writers that are favorites to us, famous for us, and some you may know, some you may not know at all, but we wanted to at least share with you tonight, and also tell you a little bit about why these authors resonate with us. You know, sometimes it's content, but it's not always. Sometimes it may be a body of work, and sometimes it may be just one single poem or one single piece of prose. So we're going to talk a little bit tonight about what we like and why we like it. How about
That's great.
we're gonna start off with Miss Ruth, and then Ruth's gonna turn it over to me, and I'm gonna turn it over to Queen Victoria down there
All right.
in the bottom box, and we're just gonna have a chat. If you all who are listening have any questions at all, or even if you want to put in your favorite female author, if you want to do that, that's fine. You can be a part of the conversation that way, and we would be glad to know who you are reading and who you are listening to, even on audiobooks and all those other wonderful things that are now available to us. So why don't you get the ball going?
Just go, Ruth. Just go.
Hit the button.
Okay.
There you go.
So when I was preparing for this, I just happened to Google, if famous, historical female authors, and I found this little tidbit. So the first known female writer, her name was Enjuenduena. Now, she's the earliest known poet ever recorded. She was a high priestess of the goddess Inanna and the moon god Nana, and lived in the Sumerian city of Ur over 4,000 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
No, that made her a contemporary of the biblical Job and Abraham. So they were
Wow.
doing their thing, and she was over there doing her thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. But you know what? Given that, she wasn't the only one, but I thought that would be a great place to start, because I think that she began setting the stage for female authors who would follow after her. For American audiences, Hannah Adams was the first female American author to make a living as an author.
Oh, wow.
So she was born in 1755. She published The Truth and Excellence of the Christian Religion, exhibited History of Jews, and Letters of the Gospel, and she was a researcher. That was her biggest thing. She was always looking into her craft. So, and the books that she would write. So I thought that was interesting to share. On a personal level, I will have to say that, I came from a family of readers. I have 3 sisters now. My youngest one is just learning how to read now. But the older 2, they were always reading different things. And my older sister, I'm the middle girl, was always reading the classics. And I thought, okay, well, that's what a reader does. But I never could get into the books that she read.
Okay.
I never could get into the female authors that she read. So I always thought, oh, I am a failure as a female because I don't like Jane Austen. I don't read Louisa May Alcott or anything like that. I actually gravitated more towards male authors, and I later discovered it was because I liked the adventure books. So my favorite author was Edgar Allan Poe. It was Edgar Rice Burroughs, Jules Verne. But as I started branching out into those genres, I discovered, Gothic horror was my favorite, and it's not like horror it is today. It was a thinking man's horror book, And to me, the most amazing part of that was that one of the biggest Gothic horror books was written by a woman, Mary Shelley. She wrote Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus. So
Right.
to me, that is just amazing. I didn't enjoy her book as much as I enjoyed the idea of her being the first female author to do that. So, and just to drop a little information, I also enjoyed Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, but did you know that the first literary vampire was a female? They
Really?
preceded Dracula by about 40 years. So,
What?
Wow.
and
I
yep,
didn't know that.
yep,
Uh,
yep. So, yeah, there's so much out there. And so, when
yeah.
you're talking about impactful books, Octavia Butler, female Black author, she wrote in science fiction. Most
Wow.
people don't, there aren't a lot of, female authors, especially of her era, who wrote in that genre back then. But she had just this, in Kindred, in Parable of the Sower, she had a message, and she used, she was a science fiction writer, which to me was amazing. Her prose can just pull you in. I wasn't a big Agatha Christie fan, but my sister was. I thought she was great, but I loved that she could impact that genre when you were competing with, Arthur Conan Doyle, and the mystery writers of that era who were all male. So, Margaret Atwood, we know her from The Handmaid's Tale,
Mm-hmm.
dystopian, and you call it what you want, but I think she was prophetic too in what she wrote. Um, and when the show came out, people were like, "Oh my gosh, you have to watch it." And I'm like, "No, I read the book 20 years ago. I'm good. I am good." They're like, "No, you need to see it." I'm like, "I'm sure it is good, but I read the book. I know what she writes about." So it's just, to me, when I'm looking at these, I used to feel bad because I didn't read as many, but female authors. But to me, it's just the ones that I read were impactful for what they
Mm-hmm.
wrote, how they wrote, and when they wrote. This one's kind of trashy, but VC Andrews. I don't know if
I
Victoria.
love the flowers in the attic, lady.
Yes.
Come
Oh,
on
yes,
now. Come
yes,
on
yes,
Yeah, I was trying to think of
yes.
what her genre would be, but all I could come up with was
now.
trashy.
Weird
But
children.
you know what?
Weird children's stories that
Yeah,
scared
I
us.
don't. They were not weird. Look, I know why I picked the first book up, and it was for a particular scene in a particular book, and it was not approved. But we all know why we read VC Andrews, and I think she certainly changed the face of,
I
oh,
had forgotten all about flowers in the attic.
Flowers
yeah.
in the attic.
I think
Ooh,
her books are making a resurgence too,
do
because I
you?
find them all the time on like popular lists.
Did y'all write this was dating us? This is dating us. Did y'all read Judy Bloom?
Yes,
Judy Bloom, yes. Judy,
Beverly Cleary, who, by the way, is still alive,
Really?
over
really?
100 years old.
Wow.
Yep.
Ooh.
Did you ever read what is her name?
Oh Lord.
Dame something or other. She wrote over 700 romance books, Regency romance books.
Ooh.
I'll have to find her name. I'm not gonna do that right now,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'll Google it while one of you are talking. But she wrote, I only got to like two of her books, but she wrote over like 700 Regency romance books. We used to sneak
I
those in.
can't even.
Oh, the Regency romance. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. They
Yeah.
were those similar to the Harlequins.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I'll get her name, but
yeah, if I
yeah.
had all the
So
money back for all the money I spent for remember the book clubs that they had? You could get 10 books for $1. No,
mhm, mhm. Yep. So yeah, so I think for me, I don't have a whole lot of favorite authors, but I do
You
read.
don't?
I don't.
Quite a list.
I read a lot,
yes,
and I
Lynn.
pick,
Yes, Lynn.
impact. And I just want to throw out some, because I was feeling guilty about this too, because I was like, I don't read any Latin authors, and I'm like Latin, so like I failed at that too. But recently, I started reading more. I found Silvia Moreno Garcia, who wrote Mexican Gothic. I would definitely recommend that. Isabel Cañas, who wrote the Hacienda. Julia Alvarez wrote Afterlife, and Isabel Allende, House of Spirits. And the
Okay.
funny part is that they all fall into a genre of, Gothic horror. So
Oh
I think
wow.
I definitely have a
Yeah, you like
favorite
that.
genre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
We'll
yeah, so
talk
those
about
are my
we have to
favorites.
do another show for that too. A genre, favorite genre.
Yeah.
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 Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
and to me, again, it is just the impact that they've had on the literary world. But
Yeah.
those are my favorites.
Yeah.
Andrea?
All righty. I see Angie down here is identifying with Judy Bloom.
Yes, dear God.
Clear,
Dear God, it's me, Margaret.
She's got those. Lynn popped up with "Dear God, it's me, Margaret."
Yep.
Margaret is a favorite. Margaret is a favorite. I've got. I don't have an extensive list like Ruth. I feel like I need to go to the library now and check something out because I'm behind, child. I'm behind. But there were 3 things that I wanted to mention during this month. First of all, I have a friend who is a writer. She and I met singing. Actually, we were in a singing group and we sang at clubs and all that good stuff. And we were the group that you called for the anniversary party and all of that. And when we split up, she began to write. She has 7 books out, not 700, but 7 really good books out, and they range from collections of poetry to novels. She likes to write about the Harlem Renaissance and all of that, and uh, she is also a poet. But what I like about her beyond her work is the fact that she has kept at it. She has not let anything slow her down. She's not let anything stop her from writing. I mean, it is her passion, and whether she sells 1,000 books or 10,000 books or one, it's her passion. It comes through in her writing, and I'm just really proud of her, and really proud of the fact that she has encouraged me in the very beginning. She is known as V Garcia right now, but her government name is Virginia. We used to call her Ginger back in the day, but she started the Metropolitan Literary Associates, and I joined that group, and that's really where I first began to write and understand that writing was to be kept and treasured and valued and not tossed away, because I was so, into, I don't think anybody would want to read this or not share this or whatever my thoughts were at the time, that there was a lot of work that I didn't keep and I didn't rework and I didn't do anything with it. But thanks to that organization and thanks to Virginia, I have kept at it these many years, and I am grateful to her for that. The second is the legacy. I did a one-woman show for several years and had different segments in different parts. And one of them that I did was called A Work in Progress Generations. And I thought we always talk about generational curses, but it's rare that we talk about generational blessings.
Right.
Mhm.
And when I was putting this show together, I began to dig and realized how many writers were in my family. My mother was a recognized poet. My aunt was a recognized poet. My cousin, who was very well known in the rainbow community, his work is very, very recognized and well known. Essex, his first name was Essex. So there are so many writers in my family that I didn't really know. Some are reporters and they work for newspapers and things like that. But it was fun to go back and not only get to know them, but have an opportunity to read their work. Some were published, some never got the opportunity to be published, but it gave me an opportunity to celebrate them and highlight them and introduce them to the world. So I was very happy to learn about my legacy in terms of writing and poetry.
Beautiful.
So My favorite well-known author would, of course, no one would be surprised to hear that it was Maya Angelou. Uh, and I pulled out some things that I didn't know about her. I didn't know that she had been married 3 times. I didn't
Oh,
know that.
really?
She'd been married 3 times. And what I thought was interesting was her her first and third husbands were carpenters.
Hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, that's just weird things. But and her second husband was a South African activist. That was her second
Right.
husband. So she'd been married. She had been married 3 times. And of course, I know that most of us are familiar with the story of the fact that she stayed mute for 5 years after the man that raped her was murdered by her uncle, and she felt that it was because of her voice that
Oh,
had
wow.
so she was mute for 5 years, and she won 3 Grammy awards for her spoken word albums. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, she won 3 Grammys, and one of them was for the poem "Phenomenal Woman," which we're all
Mhm.
familiar with. The other was for uh, on the Pulse of the Morning, and I want to go back and read that, On the Pulse of the Morning, and it is a poem that she wrote and read for Bill Clinton's inauguration.
Hmm.
So I
Yes,
didn't know about that part about her either.
that's
Uh,
it.
she also had a writing, we'll call it a writing regimen. All of us, I'm not going to say all of us, but most of us who write do. There's either a certain place that we like to sit and write, or there's a certain room or a certain time of day, or there's something that kind of inspires us. The muse just works through our brilliant minds,
The words just run off the page.
or not, you
Okay,
know.
Oh,
But a lot of us do have that kind of thing going on, and my aunt did as well. But the thing that they noted about her was that she loved to drink sherry while she wrote. And I thought that was pretty interesting, and I could name some other things that other writers have had to engage in to
be inspired, huh? Okay.
look, you do what you do to get the story out, right?
you write what you write, you get it down on paper the way you get it down on paper. But seriously, she that was her regimen. She liked to have a glass of sherry while she was writing. So all of us have different things that we do in different ways that we get our pens moving and get our
Yeah.
thoughts going in the direction that we want the characters to take us. So I thought those were just some pretty interesting things. And she was also, and MLK died on her 40th birthday.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was kind of interesting as well. So I just wanted to bring you something from the highlight reel of her life that we may not know about, this well-known woman that everybody knows and loves for their own particular reason. So those were the things that I wanted to share about her tonight. Victoria, I'm gonna move it on to you. What you got for us?
Well, Maya Angelou was definitely on my list. And I happen to love her book, I Know Why the Cage Birds Sing. That you just got to read it. I can't even tell you, but it made an impact on me. Again, talk about her voice. And she just went through a lot. She went through a lot in her lifetime to have survived that brutal attack, and then to have written the books that she's written and the poems that she's written after having that kind of life, and to be as recognized as she is, renowned, world renowned, just amazing to me. So she's definitely on my list. But if you can pick up that book and read it, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Whew. Anyway, one of my first favorite authors was Danielle Steele. And should I have been reading Danielle Steele novels at 13, 14? Probably not. Probably not. But I love me some Danielle Steele. I had all of the books. Every time a new one came out, I had it. I tell you, if I had all the money I had between them Harlequin romance and Danielle Steele, I'd be good to go. I also like Terry McMillan, Kimberly Lawson Roby. Those are two of my favorites. But my absolute favorite two authors are of the same genre. They write crime drama. I happen to love a good whodunit story. I really do. I love to try to figure out who does it, and then be pleasantly surprised at the end that I was either right or wrong. So one is a Christian fiction author and one is not Christian. Dee Henderson writes the best Christian fiction crime dramas. My bookshelf is full of them.
We can see that. We can see.
Dee Henderson, and she, oh my God, I had to give some of the books away. I had too much. Love them. And
That's
Lisa
slander
Jackson.
right there.
I know.
Have too many books. What is that?
I know, right? And Lisa Jackson is the other one. She writes phenomenally of these whodunits. You almost don't know who did it till like almost to the last page. But I absolutely love it. So get your hands on some Dee Henderson if you want Christian. Get Lisa Jackson if you don't want altogether, Christian, but it's not risque, nothing like that. But I've been known to read and some of that too. But Lisa Jackson and Dee Henderson, they're just my absolute favorite. And then last but certainly not least, I love the books that are put out by my two co-hosts.
Oh,
thank you.
And Ruth E. Griffin. When you talk about impactful writing, when you talk about writing with a twist, when you talk about writing that changes the course of your life, both of you have written things that have impacted me at different moments in my life, in different seasons. And you guys are you're on my bookshelves, right? I mean, I'm looking at your books. So yes.
Yeah.
Those are mine. But oh gosh, I didn't realize that until I started putting together the list of all the kinds of books that I love. So many. Yes, they are phenomenal women. They are.
Thanks, Victoria. Thank you for that plug. And I hope everybody got to read Angie's comments as well as Lynn's. Thank you so much, Lynn. But Angie said that she loves Marie Benedict and Victoria
Christopher Murray. Yes.
The personal librarian and the first ladies.
Yes, I remember that book.
Yeah. We have we've explored a lot today. We've had quite an interesting list. I think that's the way I can put it. And yes.
The name of the author I referenced was Dame Barbara Cartland.
Oh,
Dame Barbara Cartland.
She wrote over 700
Barbara Cartland
romantic love.
That's who it was. Yes.
So she was born in 1901 and she passed in the year 2000. So
wow,
700 books. Yeah,
I can't even.
That's a lot of stories rolling around in there. Wow.
Well, now she is somebody I would love to have interviewed about her process.
And
oh my goodness! Yes.
How in the world did you put that many books out? How in the world did you even?
How do you come up with those characters? She must have dreamt stories and woke up and wrote them out.
But it just goes to show. It just goes to show that we are all very unique. We're unique in our thoughts. We're unique in the things that we share with other people. We're unique in our writing style. We're unique in our interests. in the things that interest us and the genres that we enjoy. And we are grateful that we have a very unique audience that joins us and participates with us and shares with us as much as we share with you guys. So thank you so much for being with us tonight and going on this journey. This has been a different kind of writing journey, but I have sure learned. I have learned about some authors that I didn't really know about before. We hope that you all have as well, because we've been trying to drop some nuggets down. Lynn, I don't know about Lynn and Victoria together. Lynn says Victoria she dreamed them and then wrote them. We were trying to figure out how she wrote 700 stories. Lynn had the answer. But we are grateful to call ourselves authors. We are grateful to be impactful to someone else in their life, in their journey, whether it is fiction, whether it is a memoir, whatever, a historical novel, whatever it is, it happens to be. And we are certainly grateful for the number of authors, wonderful authors that we have had on Authors Up during the time that we have been on the air. And we certainly want to and intend to continue. So Ruth had given you the information earlier. But if you're writing, or you know somebody who's writing, or you want to encourage somebody to write, encourage them to reach out to us and encourage them to be a part of Authors Up. We are here every Sunday evening in one way or another. Sometimes we're live, sometimes we're pre-recorded, but we're here Sunday nights at 7 p.m. And then we are on Saturdays at 7 p.m. for a replay of our previous Sunday's show. So one way or the other, keep up with us, join us, enjoy what you're hearing, share it. Ruth's got all the information there. She's so smart. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Authors Up Show, at Authors Up Show. So check us out, guys, and share. You've got a friend who loves to write. There's somebody that you know that's been working on a book or a piece of poetry or a collection of work, and you've heard them talk about it for years. You don't have to be the one to tell them, okay, I'm tired of hearing you talk about it. You really need to get that book off the shelf and do something with it. You don't have to do that. Just share Authors Up. Let them come on. We'll tell them for you.
Sure will.
And we will get them started. But that is it for us for tonight, everybody. You ladies have any closing remarks, Ruth or Victoria?
Just thanking everybody else who watches the show in podcast land. We appreciate you joining in on participating and listening to our show and downloading the podcast. We thank you and appreciate you as well.
Yes. As a reminder, March is still Women's History Month. So go ahead and celebrate those women in your life. Celebrate the women who have made an impact in whatever you're interested in, because I promise you, we're in everything.
We are there. We are there.
Very true. Very true.
Do we have a guest next week?
Maybe.
Okay. Okay,
maybe.
y'all. Miss Ruth said maybe.
Maybe.
That means,
And she means
Maybe.
that means don't be asking her no questions.
Come back and find out. That's my answer.
There you go.
Come back
Join
and
us
find
next
out.
week.
Yeah.
But we mean that sincerely. Please come back next week. And we always say at the end of every program, you never know what's going to happen on Authors Up. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for continuing to support us, pray for us, and continue to come back and comment and join the candid conversation that we have every week. Have an amazing week, everybody. And we'll see you back here next Sunday night, 7 p.m. for another edition of Authors Up.
Good night,
Good night, everybody.
Good
Good night, ladies.
Good night.